want to know if the BOT is capable of it, especially considering the perception that PDP has strayed from its founding principles. Would you say that the BOT that has been inaugurated can realign the PDP's moral compass?
It's not about the BOT. BOT is just the conscience of the party. The party must have a face. That's the reality. Nigeria has not matured to the point where people like Governor Dr. Moino said, he said there's no ideological difference between APC and PDP. There's no ideological differences. And that by itself, I hope to address that matter someday, is an indictment on even the present administration at the center. Why? Because we used to know the opposition as progressives. But what is playing out, does it have anything to show for the progressive nature? Even their governors forum is called Progressive Governors Forum. Is there anything progressive there? No. So, Dr. Moino has said something that should challenge our political leaders. That APC, PDP, no ideology. They are just vehicles. So if this vehicle breaks down, board the other one and go to your destination. It's an immortal indictment. So if you have parties that don't have ideologies, or indeed they have ideologies, some have not been able to define their ideologies, you now discover that the confusion is beyond measure. So it's not just about the BOT. Yes, they have a BOT chairman, Adolphus Wabara.
Yeah.
You ask me, does APC have a BOT chairman? APC has no BOT. They can't even hold their meetings. National Working Committee, National Executive Council meeting, they have not been holding because they can't withstand it. APC is a coalition of interest groups, and those interest groups are to be assuaged one after the other. As we speak, they have broken, they are in fragments. The CPC bloc are divided because they took their turn under Buhari, who was their representative as president. The ACN bloc is taking their turn under Siwaju Bola Tinubu. The ANPP bloc, we've even forgotten who were the people there. The new PDP bloc, they have been moving up and down because even the PDP members that are now taking authorities in APC were never even in the new PDP bloc. So, you can say, talking about even having structures, PDP is better than APC. APC is the giants now because of the personality, the cult-like personality of Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. And that is winning. Winning, why? Because Northerners, the most vocal of them, including the socio-cultural groups, have made a statement that they are no longer supporting him, that they have regretted supporting him. They are going to make an announcement in the next 6 months on who they will support and all of that. That is neither here nor there. What is important is, what is the alternative to Asiwaju Bola Tinubu? Is it a Northerner? Or like Dele Momodu said, Dele Momodu, who is very vocal, he's a Westerner, Southwesterner, said that only a Northerner can defeat Tinubu. And anybody that is patriotic and wants the peace and progress of this country should not buy into such a statement. Why? Because the second term in the slot for the South has to be completed. I am a pro-zoning or rotation person. I was almost killed for it when I brought it to bear. I was the catalyst that championed that in my local government in Seletai, and the story is there. And the stories will be read even after I'm long gone, by the grace of God, because it's in a document and it will further be captured in other documents. So, in the country, you cannot run a federation like a unitary state. Since politicians, including those that we call even some of the brightest minds, apart from Oba Ota, who has been very vocal on the practice of federalism, we can never run the country on the basis that, yes, then the best person emerge. Who has been the best person? Who? Buhari, that was seen to have been an anti-corruption Caesar. By the time he was given the mantle, we started seeing what we never saw. And so what are we looking at? We are looking at the various sections of the country having opportunity to produce people, to give them a sense of belonging, and in doing that, in 2027, it's important we take some things as they come. What has Atiku said? Because you need to look at the characters that are giving PDP issues. And then I will come to the meeting of the former governors where you have talked about the expansion of the BOT and all of that. Yeah. The main character in the PDP, who is supposed to be the face of the PDP, is supposed to be the highest ranked person in the party who is active and looking, having aspiration. That's Atiku Abubakar. But what has been his role? He has been one of the greatest problems for the party, despite his wealth of knowledge and capacity. I respect Atiku sincerely, but he has made blunders at very delicate moments. It was one of the reasons that made me to even resign from partisan politics to start Open Forum as a magazine, because I couldn't imagine somebody who left to form an alternative platform, abandoning it, trying to go back to his former party. His then governor, I think Murtala Nyako, refused to admit him. He could not be registered in his ward when he left AC to go back to PDP. He was registered in Wadata Plaza, the PDP headquarters. And he came back to PDP. And what has been happening? He gets ticket, but that ticket does not translate to anything for him. Now, 2023, we talked about that. He heard what you know what he did. You saw what he did. But ahead of the 2027, this is what he has said. He said, I will continue contesting the presidency. That's just 23rd May of 2024. You can Google, it's online. Punch reported it. A number of newspapers reported it.
I know he said that, right?
Yes.
But then a few months after that, he did mention that he is not sure if he's still going to run for presidency or not in 2020.
You don't take that word. What you take is the one that it was very elaborate and which there was a response. Let me just take it verbatim because it will help our listeners to know the direction. He says, of course, I will keep contesting again and again, as long as I am alive and healthy. And this was on Voice of America, Hausa Service. And I have said repeatedly, and even said it before the 2023 general elections, that if the PDP decides to zone the presidential ticket to the south or southeast, specifically, I won't contest it. As long as it is the decision of the party, I will abide by it. But I contested the 2023 presidential ticket because it was thrown open to all members of the party. That is not true, because he did not wait or even honor what he's supposed to have been the leader to be sure that that thing was zoned properly. If the party decides it's the turn of Southeast specifically, I won't contest it. As long as it is the decision of the party, I will abide by it. But I contested the presidential election ticket because it was thrown open. If the party decides that it's the turn of the Southeast and Peter Obi is chosen, I won't hesitate to support him. Have you heard that? Now, Peter Obi responded because they met. By the time Peter Obi responded over the coalition, which they are working on, he responded through his the chief spokesperson of the Obidati media group and the Labour Party on channels, Yunusa Tanko. He said, I am only interested in alliance that makes Nigeria work, not power-seeking measure. And he went on to say that he is not interested in a coalition of measure because, like Fahimi said, APC was a power-grabbing machine. So they did everything, said some things that were not true, openly said so. You Google, you can find that out, just to get power. Unfortunately, after getting power, they don't know what to do with the power. So Obi has distanced himself from the measure, which is just for power-grabbing, except it is to make Nigeria work. So our man Atiku had to clear the air that he will keep contesting. because it is something he would do as long as it's healthy, and that was also to give the media the clear view that he's still in the race. But his close person, Dele Momodu, like I've said that only a northerner can stop Tinubu. So what are we looking at? If a party that came second in an election, no matter how the result was computed anyway, cannot play the role of the opposition, and they have been a colossal failure when it comes to playing opposition. That is why APC, have been saying it, is playing double role. They are the ruling party and the opposition party at the same time, and that is to the glory of God, because otherwise it will be worse than whatever we are seeing. Now, if a party does not have a candidate or does not know the face of who they will lie behind 2 years or less than 2 years to election, is that a serious party? No. If certain persons are still glamoring that despite the lesson of 2023, they can say, no, let the North take back power. Even the North, some of them have said, you throw up Obi, we will support him. Some they want to say it here because it's very tactical. They have to negotiate. They are not like our people who are supposed to have the capacity to use what they have, what we have, to negotiate. They now go begging. You don't beg people that have capacity to rubbish you when they have the opportunity. They won't care. So, it is unfortunate that Atiku is still standing, showing his face as a possible candidate. That will be their worst undoing. Peter Obi that they are talking about is not even in PDP. It's in Labour Party. And Labour Party here had been infiltrated far back. And Labour Party was just like it said, parties are vehicles. The Obedient movement being the greatest political movement in the history of the country in modern times cannot run and may never be able to register as a party to be able to run for Obi to have a party that he truly can control. Because most parties are owned by people in the ruling party and other parties who, even during their creation, they were the ones that even created it as alternatives and for whatever other purpose. So, that very meeting of the Governors Forum and former governors, I'm not Governors Forum, that's PDP meeting of governors, certain governors, former governors, and all this and that took place. I want to tell you that whatever they did there, it is one thing that has stood out for me. That Wike attended that meeting. It was on Sunday. What date was Sunday now?
I think 11.
Okay. Wike attended that meeting, and Wike has been seen and branded to be the problem of PDP, but PDP has never been able to disengage him, suspend him, or do whatever, or lock him out of the meeting. But guess what? He granted press media interview on Monday, that was the 12th, and what he said, the things he said, are more fundamental than virtually everything that took place